Hello, 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 everyone. So great to have you here. I hope everyone is doing well. Happy Friday. And I am so happy to get stuck into today's topic, which is all about how to accelerate your job search. I am joined by, no, I don't even know what to call you. I am joined by my friend. I am joined by my sister. I am joined by I don't even know what to call her. But anyway, let's just say she's a global HR leader. She is a career strategist, Danielle Ayodele, who is going to be talking all things career change and job search. So I am super excited to have you on today. So listen, if you are in a situation that you've been looking for a job and nothing is landing, right? Things are dry, meaning that your inbox is dry. No one is responding to you. You're getting tired, you're getting frustrated, you feel defeated, and you're wondering why because you know you're qualified. Then this live stream is for you. And I'm so excited to get this conversation started. But before I do, I have to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Paige Akintorian, and I help build corporate Christians in the corporate world and to help them grow in influence, impact, and income. All right, I am gonna welcome my dear friend Danielle. I am so excited to have you here. How are you doing?
I am doing great. And thank you for that introduction. I think when we think about what to call each other, we are definitely friends, sisters, colleagues. Peju, you guys, is the iron that sharpens my iron.
Aw.
So, yes.
Same here. But I guess we're live, so we don't want to,
Yeah.
we don't want to get too mushy here. But you are my iron too. So guys, we are currently live on YouTube. So as we're having this conversation, go ahead and say hello in the chat. Share where you're from, drop your questions so that we can answer them here live. And while you're at it, share this broadcast with other people. Right? They are professionals who need this information, who will grow from this information, who will be transformed from this information. So don't be stingy. Share the link. Sharing is always caring, and I'm sure they will appreciate if you do that. And if you are joining the replay, or if you're watching the replay, type replay at the bottom in the comments, and I will say hello. So we're just gonna get straight into it. I have to do the housekeeping, but we're going to get straight into it. So I'm going to start from the top. Danielle, would love for you to share a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Thank you so much, Peju. Well, right now, I guess I'll give you a little bit about who I am and what I do. So, based out of Chicago, I am a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, but I'm also a career woman. And that is absolutely something that I want to emphasize, that I do feel like God has called me to the workplace and to be a working woman. It's something that I enjoy, and I'm excited to have skills and gifts and talents that I can actually contribute to the business marketplace.
Mhm.
My day job, my 9 to 5, I work in HR for a premier professional services firm. And in that role, I get to do what I love, which is a lot of professional development for others. And I'm very grateful to God to be able to say that I love my job and I love what I do. And it is an excellent fit. I was not always able to say that.
Mhm.
It was quite a journey to get here. I'm sure, like many people who are watching, my career has not at all been linear. I'm someone who has bounced around through a few different industries. I've been in uh, television, broadcasting, journalism. I've been in education. I've been in other sides of the professional services
Mhm.
industry. I've been in the manufacturing side as well. So I've touched a number of different industries over my career, but I can say that in it not being a very linear journey, I
Mhm.
had some ups, some downs, and those downs, there were some really tough struggles. There were moments in my career where I was unemployed. unexpectedly laid off. That happened to me twice in my career. And that might be a whole different conversation.
Yeah, listen, that's another life, but
When
we'll
you get
touch on
the
it.
phone call that you don't have a job anymore, say, what? I wasn't
Yeah.
ready for that, right? So I've been unemployed unexpectedly. I have been underemployed. So having to take a position that I felt a little overqualified for, or wasn't quite sure that it was the right alignment. I have been unhappily employed, working in toxic environments or under, leadership that wasn't aligned with my values. And I have also at times just felt really underpaid as well. So I have been through it all in my career. And one thing that I'm very passionate about is helping other people navigate that journey, but leveraging the lessons that I learned along the way so that hopefully they don't have to make some of the same mistakes that I made. And if someone else is in a really awful place, I want to help and support them get to the other side. So today, in addition to my day job, I help women of color who are at the manager level, who are seeking to get to the next level in their career because they want a more fulfilling role. They want work that is more impactful, work that pays them better, and work that also allows them flexibility and work-life balance. Whether it's they just need time to make a nail appointment, or they're trying to have more time at home with the kids. So that's my focus today.
Yes. And so, guys, I got to tell you, this isn't just my friend. She is my destiny helper. Just so you know, I have tasted and seen and experienced her wonderful skills. I mean, I don't even need to. I mean, if you want more information, just DM me. This is a public platform, but not trying to get emotional here, but she definitely upped my game. She helped me. God used her to take me to the next level. And so she is someone you definitely want to chat with. She is dropping gems, spilling the tea on here and even on different platforms outside here. So obviously we're not at the end, we're just starting, but she definitely is someone that you need to engage with. And so Danielle, we kind of just spoke, you kind of touched a little bit about it. Over the years, I have had a front row seat, right, on how God has completely catapulted you, right, to different levels in your career, actually professionally and even personally, right? He's like completely, like we both have been like, what? Like, are you kidding me? But I believe that he gave you the strategy, he's giving you the wisdom, the nuggets, and just the steps, right, to take to help you go to those higher heights. And obviously, I know you're in a lot more of a fulfilling career. I know you're earning more money than you ever have. I know that you're in a better working environment. You have great relationships, working relationships with your colleagues. Would love to share a little bit, and I feel like you touched on it, but maybe we can kind of double click on it. Just share a little bit more about your professional story, right? And how you got to where you are now and why you do what you did. So you touched on it, but maybe like give us some examples of some of the things that you went through, the lows of the lows, because I really want people to actually be here and be like, oh my goodness, that's me. Because I know a lot of people are going through or have gone through what you went through, and I would love for them to see it's possible to get out of those situations and be in that career that they've always dreamt of.
I want to start just where you ended by saying to anyone who is in a job where they feel stuck or unhappy, and just emphasize that I promise you, it is absolutely possible to transition into something better. I remember a time where I was so unhappy and miserable that I really thought anyone who said, I love my job must have just had a miserable personal life. If I'm being honest, I was like, who loves work? How could you possibly actually love work and love what you do? You must have a really sad life at home.
Think I'm popping at home.
But here's the truth: it is possible. But the reason I felt that way is because I, at one point, really saw I could not see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm.
I felt so stressed. I was so overwhelmed with the demands at work, with the pace that I felt like I couldn't keep up with. I was bringing my best to the job every
Mm.
single day, and it just seemed like I could never meet the standards that had been set before me. I was even getting feedback that I wasn't quite up to par, and it didn't make sense to me because
Mhm.
I thought, gosh, like I do feel qualified. I do feel highly skilled. I do feel intelligent. I know that I'm bringing my absolute best. So why does it
Mhm.
constantly feel like it's not enough? And over time, that actually ended up taking a really big hit on my self esteem and on my confidence. I remember having a conversation with a colleague, and I was just, talking through work. It was a very project focused conversation. But in the middle of the conversation, she stopped me and she said, "What's happened to you? Where
Mm.
where did your confidence go?"
Mm.
And I didn't even realize how much I was wearing it on the outside, even though I was trying to cover it up with makeup and dressing nice and trying to look polished coming into work each day. It was starting to show on the outside. And that's when I knew, something is really wrong here, because she's
Mm.
right. My confidence has been impacted. My self esteem has been impacted. And I started to feel like I had something to prove,
Mhm.
oh, I have to keep working harder. I've got to work later hours. I've got to do more to prove to them that I'm worthy, to prove to them that I'm
Mm.
good enough. So I was in an environment that also just felt very, very toxic. And I also just felt like, gosh, as hard as I'm working, I sure wish I could get a promotion out of this. I sure wish I could get a pay raise for all that I'm doing, but that was even nowhere in sight.
Yeah.
And I remember hitting a low point. I was on a work trip, and it's bad when you find yourself on the face down in a hotel carpet. Okay. And
Oh.
on the floor, crying my eyes out to God, because I'm like,
Mhm.
why? Right? Like, why is this happening? I feel unhealthy. I don't look like
Mhm.
myself. I don't walk, talk, and move like myself anymore. I'm feeling anxious and scared, even on the weekends. I would start getting worried about Monday on Saturday,
Mhm.
because on Saturday, I thought, oh my goodness, tomorrow, Sunday, is my last day. And then I have to go back and do all this all over again on Monday. And I'm like, Lord, what is happening here? Because
Yeah.
I know, remember, I told you guys, I'm a career woman. I know that I'm called to work. I know that I'm supposed to be in the workplace. So why is it so hard? Why is this not working for me? Why do I feel out of place here? I'm ready to go. I'm like, Lord, hold on. It's time for me to go. I need something else. I need something different. I need some more money. I want to feel appreciated, recognized, valued. I want to work
Mhm.
with great people and have strong relationships. I want to feel confident and get my esteem back. I wanted
Mhm.
more work-life balance. At that
Yeah.
time, my husband and I, we were even trying to start a family. And I just felt like I didn't even have enough downtime to even really focus on self-care and focus on
Mhm.
myself. And I cried my little eyes out right into that old
That carpet, we all know that carpet was not fresh. I was,
no,
I was reading the comments, and Maureen was like, "Not hotel
no,
carpet."
okay. But I had an encounter with God that night,
Mm.
and he told me clear as day that I was going to leave, that I
Mm.
would leave, that I would not be there forever,
Mhm.
and that I would move. He would tell me when the time would come for me to move.
Mm.
And even though it wasn't the answer that I wanted in that moment, because I was like, Lord, I need a job like now, a new
Mhm.
job now. It gave me a sense of peace to know, one, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not supposed to be here in this
Mhm.
situation long term. And it's coming. My
Yeah.
my my next, the thing that's going to be better, it's coming. And I held on to that. And it was in that place that I started positioning myself and getting ready.
Mhm.
The work that I did ultimately is now the strategy that I have used to help so many other
Mhm.
women make their transition out of those places and into the next.
Yeah.
It was God given, and I'm just grateful. But it was in that space where I started getting myself ready, and that's where the framework that I have today all comes from. And let me tell you, the next job that I got, not only did it blow my mind, like, are you kidding me? But all the people that I was trying so hard to like prove myself to, even their jaws dropped. I remember someone actually asking me, how did you get that? It's like, well,
you're right.
divine connect. And he's been preparing me.
Listen, and it came to you so easily. I mean, it wasn't even like they came to you. I remember like you telling me the testimony. It wasn't like you were like thirsty trying to apply. It dropped into your lap, the opportunity. And to me, that's so beautiful, because to me that like that really just shows God's right. He's like, I got you. I got you.
Yes. And I want to emphasize with that too, that I also believe it dropped in my lap because I had gotten busy doing some of the things that I felt the Lord showing me in the meantime. So that meant when it was time, when it was finally time to move, it was just like, boom, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. You've seen that that meme on social media where they're like, when God tells you it's time to go and you're just holding on. Listen, but I was ready. I was ready.
His timing is the best timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
His timing is we can't miss it. We can't miss it. But it's so amazing to see how far you've even come. I mean, God has even added more to you since then, right? I remember when that happened, and then subsequently, just so much more great stuff has happened. But I thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being so vulnerable. I'm looking at the chat, and everyone's like, "Wow, may God give me the same grace." Amazing. That's from Maureen. You have Kira, who's like, "Yes." She's like, that's it. Hands up, right? And Ake or Aki, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but she literally said, literally, that's me now, right? And so I know your story resonates. I mean, when I heard your story, you know, I just know that it resonates with so many different people, because it happens to all of us, right? There's a point in our career where we're just like, what are we doing? Like, Lord, what's going on, right? So I would love for you to speak to the people who have felt this or are feeling this right now. What are three of the things, or three steps, or three things? Because as you know, this podcast is called Sharing the Three Secrets, right? Or discovering the three secrets to help accelerate your job search. So would love for you to share three things that folks can do to help them accelerate their job search and find the job that God has ordained for them.
Yes. So there is some homework, and it's wrapped up in these three steps. And again, this is a strategy that I have followed and been able to help so many other people do as well. And the very first step, I call these the 3 Ps. The very first P is to pause. And it's in that moment, what you really want to do is take inventory and do some deep reflection about where you've been and where you're going. I cannot emphasize this enough, because a common mistake is when someone is in this place and they're just ready for next, they're either going to do one of two things. One could be immediately get online and just start job searching. They're on LinkedIn, they're on Indeed, they're Googling, and just like, I gotta find another job, just looking. The second thing that they might do is update their resume. But I'm here to tell you, friends, those are not your first two steps. You need to pause first and really reflect on where you have been and where you're getting ready to go. You have got to take inventory of your skill set, of your career values, of everything. And that then lays the foundation and becomes the good ground that you're going to anchor in for the next two things. So after you've done that, excuse me, in step 2, the second P is to polish. Now that you know what you're going after, what your goals are, what your values are, it's time to just clean yourself up a little bit, right? Because you have been through it. But we no longer want you to look like what you've been through. And you are going to start to look like where you want to be. So we've got to clean up your online professional presence. This is when we can finally start to tackle your resume and all of your other professional documents. But in general, this is where we start to polish who you are and your professional brand to now line up with all of the things that you took inventory of in step 1. So this is all kind of flowing right together. Then in step 3, the second P, this is when we finally position you to start pursuing the actual thing that you're going after. Okay. So now, once you have done that, you might even be surprised. Here's a real secret. Paige, I haven't said this to anybody else, so this is kind of exclusive.
You better spill the tea, sis.
I'm going to do it because y'all, it's because it's Paige. Let me just say here's the real secret. Step 3 is going to happen, but if you do step 2, if you do that second P and you polish up real well, it's going to fall in your lap.
Come on.
They might just come to you. You may not even have to position yourself to really start applying. But in that third step, this is when you now can start presenting yourself to employers, applying for jobs, but you're doing it strategically now. Again, it's rooting back into the foundation that you laid in step 1. So we're not just out here applying for any old thing, applying for everything that you're qualified for, because that's another common mistake. People will read a job description and say, oh, I can do that, and then apply. No.
Yeah.
We can't just apply for everything that we're qualified for. It needs to be strategic. Does it line up with all the stuff that you uncovered when you paused?
Right.
Reflect it and when you took inventory. And if it doesn't, no matter how good it reads, no matter how many boxes you can check on the list of requirements, you want to pass it up. So that's when you start to really position your job search strategically. So it's three steps. So it sounds, simple, but the thing is that it requires some dedication, some work. But if you do that, I have never seen it fail. It accelerates every single time. I've never seen it fail.
So good. Honestly, the chat is popping.
Oh, I can't
listen. Okay. Maureen is like, free gems. Thank you. We have Tokwe who's like, love it. Maureen's like, let it fall, baby. Let it fall into my lap.
Into your lap. Listen, you know what?
She's like, let it fall into my lap. Yes.
Everybody who is watching this right now, they will fall into your lap.
Amen. Actually, you know what? That's going to be the prayer that everyone should take away. Let it fall into my lap. I'm going to do the work to pause.
Do the work.
I'm going to polish myself because I want to look like where I want to go, not where I've been.
Yes.
And it's going to fall into my lap. That is so good and so simple. So simple. And it's amazing. Like, as you said, we just got to do the work. Do the work and it will come. And again, I'm testament to this, guys. So this isn't just something that's like, we're just saying fancy 3 Ps. I'm a testament to it. She is a testament to it. And she has other clients that have been testament to it. So it works. It works. This isn't any fluffiness. So let's check the chat. And does anyone have any questions? Because chat is popping. I know people are reactive, but would love to hear from anyone. Any questions on the framework? Anywhere you want us to go deeper? Let anyone want to talk about their experience and how we can help? Put your question in the chat. Put your question in the chat.
Happy to answer.
As we wait for that, Danielle, would love for you to talk about like the typical average time that it takes for people to find a job. Because I know sometimes people get, they get frustrated, right? They're like, I've been applying for a job for a week, 2 weeks. I haven't heard anything. But I think it's also important implementing this framework to also understand like the duration or how long things should take and what people can be doing during that time while they wait.
Glad you asked that question. I do think it's very important. On average, it can take 3 to 6 months to land a new job. 3 to 6 months to land a new job. And that's if you've done the 3 Ps and you are properly polished and positioned and ready, that's actually a pretty decent time frame. Now, if you've been looking for a job and it's been 8 months, 10 months, if it's been over a year, something is off, sis. And I'm not even saying that to be funny. I'm just saying I don't even want you to keep spinning your wheels. Like, it's time to go back to the drawing board and really look at your approach, really look at your strategy and say, am I doing something right? Because if you here's what I know. Here's what I know where a lot of women are. You have at least 1 degree, maybe 2, right? You are likely a wife, a mom, or soon to be mom. You are already managing and running your household, probably managing your finances. You are a strong performer at work, and you're qualified. So you're right. It's not adding up that you're applying for jobs and not hearing back. So your skill set isn't the problem. It's the strategy and the approach and making sure that you're taking the right steps to get there. So 3 to 6 months to land a new job, and with the right approach, you should fall somewhere right within that range. And if it's taking you longer than that, it is time to kind of stop and reassess.
Yeah, so good. Thank you. And whilst you were answering that, we did get a couple of questions. So I'm going to go and dive into those. Maureen Delano says, Danielle, can you please go deeper into the pause point? What should I be doing at this stage? How long should I be on pause for?
Oh my goodness. Maureen, you need to set up a call with me, girl.
Listen,
Let's talk so I can give you some of that. But here's what I do want to say, because I do want to help you all. When you pause, I want you to really think about why you're leaving where you are. Okay. And I want you to be very specific, and I want you to write those things down. Why are you leaving? And why is it so important for you to make the change now of all times? Okay. Then I want you to also, when you pause, really think about what you need next. What are you going to need to actually make the move to tell your current employer, I'm resigning, to go somewhere else? What does the environment need to look like? What type of work is it that you really want to do? And then what is all of that called in the marketplace? Because it may not be exactly what you think. That's just a few things.
So good.
It's a few things that I'm telling you. A lot of people jump straight to update it. How you gonna update your resume?
Right.
You don't
know what you want.
So you have to do that. Thank you, Maureen, for that question. It was very, very good.
Yeah. Thank you. Axel says, what do you do when you pray and fast for a job and when you finally get there and things aren't what they seem? You know what? That's a question. Because I feel like we all do that. Full prayer and fasting, right? To get the job. We land the job. And then we're like, wait. Do you know what I mean? Like,
here's the thing.
I would love to get your insight on that.
You know what comes to mind for me with this is there have been many times in my walk with God where I have prayed and fasted for something that was my will. And over time, I have learned that even though I'm going to ask for something, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, God, but whatever you have, I really, even though I think I want this and I'm telling you that I want it, I really don't want anything that you have not set aside for me. I really don't. I really, like, this looks real attractive. I'm telling you that I want it. I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to fast about it. But if it's not what you actually have, then I don't. Then I don't. So I would just say, maybe take a beat and go back to your prayer closet and have that conversation with God to just soul search and see, was that something that God really had for me? Or was it something that I just really, really wanted, that he permitted me to have? God, has absolutely at times permitted me to be successful in certain things. And then I realized, like, okay, I do think there was probably something better.
Yeah. No, that's so good. Totally agree. And I think kind of along the lines of what you just said, go back to your why too, right? Because I also feel like it could have been what God has said, right? But we are so, like, there's so much noise. right? Someone saying this. And I think, at least for me, I'm like, I was hugely affected by the people around me. So if we have negative Nancy, chatty Kathy, gossip Gabby, all
Right.
saying all these things, I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I feel that too. But I can choose to zone those people out and be like, hey, look, let me go. This is my assignment. This is what I am here for. I'm
Right.
gonna get all these people out of my midst and follow what God has told me to do. So I love that question, because honestly, I felt like I've been thinking that the last couple of months, right? That
Yeah.
like we did pray and fasting, we got here, Lord, but
Right.
like, so thank you, Excel, for that question. Fantastic. And then we have Tokwe, who's asking, how do you get rid of distractions in the pause phase? So good.
Mhm. I love that question because I do think it's very important in the pause to be able to deeply reflect
Hmm.
without distraction. So if you are a wife and a mom, which I know a lot of you are, and you probably already have a full-time job,
Hmm.
I do recommend trying your best to just try to carve out quiet time for yourself to
Hmm.
think. If you're only able to carve it out in small chunks, do it in small chunks until you finish the entire reflection exercise. If you're able to carve out a day, I think you'd be surprised that in a day's time of no distractions, you will actually walk away with a lot.
Hmm.
And in fact, I'm glad she asked that because one of the things that I've been thinking about is actually hosting a day
Hmm.
and bringing women like you all together for us to spend some time working on that. And
Hmm.
if you're in Chicago and that's something you would be interested in doing, then I want you to comment and put sign me up.
Yep.
So
Sign
I
me up.
know if you guys would be interested in that, because I do think taking that pause seriously without distraction is great when you can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So true. So Danielle, you know this, right? So a few weeks ago, I took a pause, right? And obviously I wasn't job searching, but I took a pause away from distractions, flew away somewhere 4 days, and honestly, I feel like Stella got her groove back. Listen. Like, it was just so refreshing, right? To get the noise out and really realize, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? What am I doing? How am I doing it? Who am I doing it with? And that time just makes such a huge difference. So I'm so happy that you said that, because I feel like a lot of professional women, right? Obviously the women you cater to, they need it. They need it. There's so much noise, so many distractions. Social media doesn't help. Husband, kids, job, trying to keep fit with it. Like, trying to do so much. Listen.
So listen, when you said trying to get fit with it, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
And I'm just like, so much going on, that having that day and being around women who are thinking like-minded, I think will be bliss. So sign me up. I see a couple of people saying, sign me up for the day, sign
Yes,
me up for the
awesome. I
day, sign me
love
up for
that.
today. So double, we need to get that popping.
All right.
Absolutely need to get that
We're
popping.
gonna make that happen, you guys. We'll do it. We'll figure it
Yes. Yes. Any other questions? This has been so, so good. I feel like, I mean, I've known you for years, and I have learned more stuff about you.
out.
I know the people on here have learned stuff.
That's so
For
good.
those who want to learn more, how can people find you, and how can people connect with you?
Yes. So the easiest way to connect with me right now is to go to Instagram. My Instagram handle is Excel with Danielle. Thank you, Paige. She just popped it up there on the screen. And in my bio, I do have a link for a complimentary call. If you are a part of Paige's community, I am offering complimentary coaching calls. So take advantage of that while I have it up. You can set up time with me. Um, and yeah, that's the best way to reach me. But coming soon, I'm going to revamp my LinkedIn community as well.
Yes, yes. I am excited to see that. I'm so excited that you guys were able to join us. Thank you so, so much. For those
We're
of
gonna
you who
do
are
an
not part
episode
of,
two, please.
pardon? What did you
Kira
say?
says episode 2, please.
Yeah, episode 2. It was so good. I'm like, I mean, we all know you're coming back. This isn't this isn't a
Wait,
one-time thing, sis.
wait, and then
Um
Lauren says, "Are you free in the hour?" Listen, my children just got home from daycare. I'm about to switch into mommy mode. Well, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk.
not free in an hour.
Right.
Mosa, you're so funny. I'll send you the link, sis. Don't worry. But this has been so good. We're definitely gonna. I mean, I know you cover an array of things, right? Because another thing you talk about is obviously once you get the job, things you can be doing on the job. You talk about
Yes.
salary negotiation. You know what? The next one is salary negotiation. The
Done.
people need to hear.
Done. Let's do
The
it.
people need to hear
Do
because
it.
she has a history of increasing people's salary by 6 figures.
With glory to God. We give glory
Let's just drop the mic there.
we
Let's
give
just
glory
drop the
to God.
mic there. So she's obviously God is speaking through her, and these strategies work. But anyway, we're gonna call it close. It's already 36 minutes. I wanted to keep this at 30 minutes. We knew this was gonna run long, but so good, guys. If you're not part of the Christians in Corporate community on LinkedIn, join. The link should be in this description bar below. Also, I have a free ebook, free devotional for you guys. So go on to my page, or even the link. There should be a link down below that shows that will take you to a link. It's called Shine Bright in the Workplace. Because listen, once you secured the job, you got to shine bright for God's glory. That is what He has called us to be: light in the workplace, lights wherever we go. So pick up that daily devotional. It will help you, elevate you, change your mindset, and all that good stuff. So we are going to call it a day today. Thank you so much. I see some people still responding. I am a witness. Same. I mean, see, I'm just not the only one. So good. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Bola, for joining us. Yes, we appreciate you. We honor you. There's going to be lots more where this came from. Danielle, my girl.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
See you soon. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Bye.